And I do always turn my cards right side up for general readings. It's not that I don't read reversals. I just find that I prefer to do general readings without them, if that makes sense. And if you're don't understand what that means, it doesn't matter to you anyway. And my stomach is growly this morning and my neighborhood is loud, so I apologize. Hopefully it's not too distracting. So we're going to start here in your mental space this month. We have the Page of Pentacles or coins. As you can see here, he's a young man, person. I shouldn't, it doesn't matter that he's a man. And he's holding this coin and it looks really important to him, right? Like he's putting a lot of focus onto this thing. And it is maybe he's wishing for that. I almost see him like, I want more of this. I want to continue this kind of energy, and eagerness comes with this card. And the coins represent our physical, financial, tangible world, our things, our possessions, even our body. So I just kind of find it funny to make a wish, and then that's one of the first impressions I got from him. And this coming out in your mental space, you may be very eager to make some changes in your physical world, whether it be thinking about a new job, thinking about new opportunities, looking for creative ways to make an extra income, looking for opportunities to increase stuff that you have in your tangible world. So I feel that this is exciting, kind of young. Immature always comes to mind, but I hate saying you're being immature. It's not that. It's just with a younger energy. Typically, think about a kid that's fresh out of school, super excited to enter his career field, has a lot of he's enthusiastic. He has energy because he's young and vital and he's ready to be involved. And so that's what I say that's what I'm trying to encompass when I say immature, not in the negative, they make bad choices because they're young and dumb. Although that can be a part of it, it can, if you rush through this energy, it can leave you open to make mistakes or to not be balanced. You may put too much time and energy and focus into this and neglect other things in your life because that's the only thing you can think about right now. I would just be very intentional and mindful if you find yourself getting too caught up in something or spending too much time on something or whatever. Call yourself on it. Be mindful of where am I putting my energy? Am I putting it to good use? Or am I kind of walking around in circles right now? And be very intentional where you want this to go. So like if you're making this wish for a new job, a new whatever, what are you doing to get yourself there? And what are you focused on? Are you just focused on money? Or are you focused on what you truly believe is right for you and best for you? It'll make you feel good. Or are you chasing dollars? Like that's as simply as I can put it. In our physical space, and this really makes me think again of something new because we have the Three of Wands here and he is starting a journey, right? He's looking over this landscape and he's ready to take steps to move forward. And I feel like he's in a place of wanting to discover and explore, and he's not worn down at all by it yet. Again, it's a younger energy. It's a 3. So there's this curiosity and willingness that comes out in this card. So these two playing together, again, the wishes do come true all the time. I think it's important to be very deliberate, though. What do I really want? What do I really need? And how can I approach this, keep a good attitude, be excited, try to keep myself positive? That can be hard for us when we don't feel like things are exactly lining up how we want them to, us water signs, or we'll take things personal. You know what? Sometimes you get, if this, I almost see this as an entrepreneur right now. Like, I have this thing, it's really cool. I'm going to get it out there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create something new for my life. And people keep telling them no. As a water sign, I know that it's hard because we get emotionally invested in our physical world sometimes. That's what we are. That's just how we roll. And it can be very hard if you feel like this thing that you're trying to do and you're so emotionally connected to it, and people tell you no, or they don't agree, and we take that personal because we have personal feelings attached to it. It can be really hard on us moving forward. It can be really hard on us to stay involved because we get hurt by it, right? So we have to be mindful and sending our attentions with that and understanding that that thing, even though we may have created it or it's something we're passionate about, it does not define us. And when somebody turns that down, it's an opportunity for someone else to be positive about it. And we should be thankful that some people are going to say no, so we can find the right people to work with, or the right people to help us with whatever it is we're doing. We then have the King of Swords here in your emotional space. So, which almost makes no sense for us. You know, this little king of air signs here. Emotionally, we're not typically that logical, or we're even too logical. Who knows how this is going to play for us this month? But the King of Swords is all about logic, fairness, what's right, devoid of the emotional attachments, right? It's the black and white. It's those Libras with their scales going, okay, I'm going to throw all this stuff on the scale, and this is right and that is wrong. And and I have one of these people in my life, and he's awesome. But sometimes it's very frustrating for us to try to communicate because he is 100% logic, and I am really close to 100% emotion, and it can be difficult for us to understand each other sometimes. But we understand why that's hard for us, so I guess that helps. So Cancer, with this coming up in your emotional space, this may be telling you to, keep your logic, and try to hold on to it and try to use it in the best ways possible. It's important that you keep your heart. Don't be 100% like, it doesn't matter how I feel. Let's cut this thing apart. But if you find yourself in too deep emotionally, try to pull back on some of that logic. Do things that are outside of your comfort zone, like make pros and cons lists, or make a detailed schedule, or things that you wouldn't typically do in an emotional space, but some way to be like, okay, I need a reset here, and I'm going to try ridiculously simple, logical things and see how this lines up, just to use it as like a check and balance for my emotions. And coming out in our spiritual space, we have the 5 of Wands and the 7 of Coins. And the 5 of Wands is their practice card. These look like some kids practicing beating each other up, so someday they can grow into a knight or a king, So this is a card of conflict, but more in a things have to be hard sometimes, or you have to kind of get beat up in the process of learning things sometimes in order to get where you want to go. So this coming out in your spiritual space, there just may be some uncomfortability there for you. This could be you trying to better take care of yourself spiritually, trying to meditate, trying to pray, trying to go to meetings or groups or classes or church or whatever that aligns with your spirituality, and you just can't get it worked out yet, right? Or you're being met with some discomfort, whether not agreeing with people not agreeing with you, that kind of thing. But with this card, the most important part of this is to remember to look at everyone that you come in contact with in life as a teacher. When they make you uncomfortable, when they argue with you or disagree with you, if you approach the situation as, what can I learn from you today? And that doesn't mean taking all of their words as truth, but in total, your interaction with them, what am I learning from this right now? It's so helpful, and I've been getting this card a lot this month. I think a lot of us are going through this in November. We're going to have issues with people, but if we approach these as, I'm going to learn from you, what can you teach me, what can this situation teach me, and how can this make me be a better person, those kinds of situations become so much easier to deal with, just because your perspective on it is one of, I'm okay with this being uncomfortable or whatever this conflict is, because I'm going to learn something from it. I'm going to be better when this is done. And the 7 of coins is a card of patience and diligence. He had to put in a lot of work to get this plant to grow this far. And there comes a point when there's not much more else you can do. You just have to wait for that fruit to ripen, right? If you've done any kind of gardening, I mean, yes, you can go back and maybe have to weed a garden or water a garden. But I think specifically, like when I think of a tree, once a fruit tree is to a certain size and so forth, there's only so much you can do as far as pruning and trimming and watering and those types of things, when you just have to wait. You have to wait for the fruit to come. So these 2 cards coming out in our spiritual space, I'm really feeling like you may feel like it's supposed to be better than this, or I'm supposed to be in a better place in this. I should be more connected. I should be having a better spiritual existence here. I should have a better relationship with my religion or my spirituality, my practices. And you may kind of be like, I just keep having conflict and then waiting around. And I can understand, Cancer, if you're feeling that might be frustrating. And I get frustrated sometimes with how I feel my spiritual journey is going. And I'm like, why did all of a sudden I was so good at keeping this specific practice? I was, praying for X amount of time a day, and I did it at a specific time. And I'm so sorry about my neighbor's dog. And I would do this all the time. And then all of a sudden I stopped, and it's 2 weeks later. And how did that just fall out of my life when it was so important and it had become a habit? So if you're going through that and you're like, just this, nothing seems to fit right, and I haven't gotten my reward for doing the work yet. I get it, but I think that's normal. And I don't think any of us necessarily ever maintain that 100% all the time. We are human beings with biological functions. And so we're not always great at staying in touch with our spiritual space, even those who are the most spiritual I know. So give yourself a break there and deal with just understanding that it's all teachable moments. And that's a continuing thing. The reward is there. It's just not fulfilled yet or whatever. You know what I mean? I ran out of words. I don't know. I just started to go blank. But what we're going to do now is pause the video. I'm going to move some things around and we're going to move on to the second part of our reading. This card, it's represented a bit differently. And when I see this one as opposed to this one thing that usually comes up and what makes me want to speak about it is it's like this guy left his coins too long, and some of them look like they're starting to rot, right? They're looking a little rough. Some of them are in really good shape and some of them aren't. So as I talk about patience in this one, a lot of times I talk more about the diligence I mentioned in the first one, because I feel like this guy went out there and he plowed his land and he did some work and he sowed his seeds, but then he walked away from stuff and he didn't stay diligent in making sure that things were okay. And he got impatient, right? I talked about the patience here. I feel like in this deck, it's represented as instead of standing there and being diligent and paying close attention, he might have gotten a little sidetracked, right? And now he's like, uh-oh, some of these are kind of beat up, and now what am I going to do? So this coming out in your need to know, I think that patience is very important, that, and you may have some seeds that you've already planted in your life, and you know they could be profitable, they could be doing something for you or creating better things, growing in your life, but you may have neglected them a little bit. So this coming out in your need to know, you need to know to, put in your due diligence. You're going to reap what you sow, or you'll reap what you sow. I was saying it backwards for a second. So make sure what the work you're putting in is going to garner the return that you're looking for. Son, take your rear end outside. Put your feet in dirt, real dirt, like dirt, bare feet. And I don't even care if you live someplace cold, but put your feet on the earth, look up, and let the sunshine hit your face for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, anything. I know that's a very literal representation of the sun card, but really, how often do we do that? I actually try to do it often. I tried to take my shoes off and stand on the earth, and I'll be headed out to get into my car or something, and I'll just stop for 2 seconds and let the sunshine actually just hit my face. Little things like that, and appreciate it and look up and see the beautiful blue sky. It's funny how little things can change your life. My daughter plays softball and she plays year round. Well, I shouldn't say year round. She plays 2 seasons a year, which feels like year round sometimes. And so, of course, we're spending a lot more time outside with her tournaments that she participates in. And I already spend a pretty good amount of time outside, but even above being involved in my child's life and something she's passionate about, and the other families that we thankfully, I adore our families and our girls. Woo, and I'm beating things up. But the opportunity to be outside more has been really good, and the views and looking up and seeing these beautiful skies over these softball stadiums, and just, I don't know, it's been really enjoyable. And so I've really been drawn to paying attention to the sky recently again. And I kind of always do. It's kind of who I am. The night sky is something that's very important for me. I look for the moon every chance I get, and I'm constantly looking for constellations that I know. But I think it's little things like that we can sometimes take for granted because we're paying attention to a whole lot of other things. In general, just there's a lot of joy and warmth and freshness associated with this card. Look at them. They're just, the eagle soaring, and they're outstretched, letting the sun just it's in, letting that energy hit them. And In another deck, it's a naked baby riding a horse with these flags and this bright sunshine and sunflowers everywhere. So just this, just pure energy. I don't know. This card, it's a beautiful card, but sometimes it's hard to articulate for me because I can feel it, but finding the words to suit it, you know what I mean? That can be tough. I think that's why initially I was just like literal, go outside. But really, whatever you need to do to feel like you're a part of something on this universe, you're a special being on planet Earth who has that beautiful sun out there shining on us, being our purest energy form. And it's amazing. It's cool. It's cool that big bright thing in the sky burning, and we're whirling behind it, chasing after it with our moon and all the other planets and their moons and the debris, and now our, you know, spacecrafts and all this junk we've set into space that's flying around out there. It's cool. And I think it's important for us to remember that and give that some time and appreciation. I think that's kind of a weird way to end this reading, but you know what? We're making wishes, and part of that wish may need for you to appreciate how cool our world is. So these wishes you make can reflect your appreciation. You know what I mean?